Good morning to everyone. Well, the topic that was given to me is position yourself for the next big opportunity. So this is not the topic that I thought of, but this was given by the school. So I thought I'll just give you 3 points, 3 messages around this. The first point about branding, marketing, and positioning is, just pay attention to this, my friends. This is very, very critical. Don't market yourself. Don't brand yourself. Don't position yourself. Let the world brand you. Let the world market you. Let the world position you. Now let me explain what I meant. See, today we are in the 4th revolution, industrial revolution. Okay, now we've moved on from the steam engines. What is 4th industrial revolution, my friends? This is all about extreme innovation. It's just not basic innovation, it's extreme innovation. So let me give you a couple of examples from my side of work, technology. See, today, let's assume one of you is working in the area of big data analytics, Internet of Things, robotics, artificial intelligence, blockchain. You're working in these areas. You will come out with a product, and you can market the product, you can position the product, you can brand the product. And let's assume another thing. Supposing you're in robotics, and you have pioneered this robotic surgery for someone, a very young child, let's say in the neonatal baby care. It does phenomenal surgery, protects a child who's extremely fragile in a robotic surgery. So the world is going to brand you as a humanitarian. The world will market you as a scientist. What have you done actually? You have worked hard at the robotics product that you made, or maybe the service that you delivered. Now, let's say you're working in the area of augmented reality, and you come out with, let's say, spectacles for the blind or people who are compromised in their sight. So you can market the augmented reality spectacles, you can brand the spectacles, you can position spectacles, but the world, if your spectacles go on to helping those who are disabled, then you will be called an innovator. The world will brand you as an innovator. So the first message is that don't market yourself, market your product. Be extremely sure about this. You invest into your products, do your job well, the task at hand, and the world will brand you. Just to give you a personal experience. Last month, I was speaking at a World Government Summit. Presidents and prime ministers of several countries were there, and I went as a speaker. So I was interviewed by Richard Quest. Richard Quest is from CNN, and he's considered to be one of the most respected, versatile, knowledgeable anchor in the world. Richard Quest, wow, that's what people say. So what happened? Richard Quest was interviewing me, and can you make a guess? Before that happened, he interviewed Christine Lagarde. Who's Christine Lagarde? The chief of International Monetary Fund, IMF. She was on the stage. Richard Quest interviewed her. Soon after that, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave the keynote speech. There was a standing ovation, 7,000 people. Then I was interviewed by Richard Quest. Then a lot of international media came and spoke to me. Ma'am, what have you done that you are being interviewed by Richard Quest? So I gave my area of work, explain everything. Then an Indian reporter walks up to me. An Indian walks up to me and he says, ma'am, how did you get into this program? How did you manage to be on stage? I was like, and then I was like annoyed or whatever, I was taken aback. What questioning is this? And then the lady who was next to me from the Prime Minister's office, who was given the duty of keeping me company through my stay in UAE, she told him, sir, Madam was invited by the Prime Minister of UAE. So he got his answer, and she positioned me, she branded me, she marketed me, in other words. So this is what it is. You be good at what you do. You invest your energies in the product or service that you're making, and the world will brand you. That's point one. Point two, as far as branding is concerned, just ensure that your brand is considered to be versatile. It's important to be looked at as a versatile brand. Today, no one can limit themselves to specializations. The world is today about hybrid economies, hybrid cars, hybrid professionals. It's all about hybrid and let's say multidisciplinary way of giving services to the world. So just to give an example again, years ago when I set out my career, I used to lecture at Administrative Staff College, Center for Good Governance. So senior IAS officers would sit in my classes. In one such program on leadership, I asked the practicing IAS officers, what is your style of leadership? So one gentleman got up and said, ma'am, I am like a lion, I am like the king of the forest, whatever. Then another man said, I am like an elephant, dependable, sensitive, and somehow the topic went into animals. I mean, I seriously couldn't understand how that happened, but everybody, because the first one said lion, the other one said elephant, and another one said wolf, whatever, and they were talking. So there's this lady who's a principal secretary from Uttar Pradesh. She was sitting very beautiful lady. She was sitting to my right, and she wasn't saying anything. So I asked her this question. I said, what about you? She said, ma'am, I'm a little confused because I am like a tiger in my office. At home, I'm like a dog. And when I'm with my friends, I monkey around. So she was confused. In leadership styles, my friends, it's not only in leadership. In your work, when you have to be branded, don't be branded narrowly. Look like someone who's extremely versatile. And that's what is going to give you the next big assignment as the topic given to me. The third point, my friends, is about in everyone's professional life, you will see something called the golden hour. The golden hour. Now, what is the golden hour? For some of you who saw heart attacks happen, and the minute you have a heart attack, if you're not rescued in the coming 1 hour, you lost your life, and that 1 hour is called the golden hour. So that is for survival. But in your professional lives, you will be given a lot of golden hours. And I'll give you a personal example of one such thing so that you will start paying attention. If all of you want to be really successful in life, you have to be pretty alert to the golden hours that present themselves periodically. So let me give you an example from my work experience. 15 years ago, I was very young, and I had a very successful strategy firm. I had many multinationals as my client, and I did a bit of work with the government in e-governance and transition management. And I was teaching IAS officers, of course, at Mussoorie and also here in different places. So at that time, on a Saturday evening, I get a call from Washington, D.C. And they said, Ms. Gopal? I said, yes. They said, we are speaking from the World Bank. We would want to know if you are okay to attend a meeting in Delhi on Monday. I said, what is this meeting about? They said, this meeting is about the Delhi Water Board reform that World Bank is navigating. And World Bank at that time has sunk in $100 million, in 500 crores of rupees into the reform project of Delhi Water Board. And so I said, okay. So I will, he said, just participate. We'll arrange, we'll take care of your tickets, stay and everything. I agreed, but I asked him one question, who will be there in the meeting? He said, Sheila Dikshit, who was the chief minister, the secretary, chief secretary, people from United Nations, Adam Smith Institute, the technical supporter, and some senior government officials from Delhi Jal Board. I said, okay, I'll be a part of that. So quickly, I was mentally calculating what I should, what I should be aware of before I sit in the meeting. Saturday evening. Then Sunday morning, I get another call from the Delhi office. And they asked me, Ms. Gopal, just checking with you, would you be able to give a presentation on transition management? I said, what? So the reform, he said, we were given to understand you're a transition management expert in the reform programs of government. Can you give a presentation? I said, okay. And then I immediately jumped to work, started thinking of what kind of presentation, because it's about, see, I had experience in e-governance implementation, but when you look at a reform program of a utility, then you have to look at multiple things. It's not about just funding, it's about connections, navigation of the change, everything. So I was thinking of that, and I said, and I just jumped into the work. Evening on Sunday, look, I was flying out on Monday, right? Sunday evening, I get a call, and they say, Ms. Gopal, can you steer the meeting? Now just look at this. First they said, will you participate in the meeting? Then they said, will you give a presentation? Third one is, will you steer the meeting? So what does it mean? I will be like the boss. I initiate the discussion. I set the roadmap for discussion. I present the entire context. I give them the outcome. So they rested everything squarely on my shoulders. And when that came, that was my golden hour. If I had not said no, if I had said no to that opportunity, then I wouldn't be where I am today. It was an opportunity for me to transition from working with multinationals and all that to get into the government space, and royally, because you're doing that in the presence of all the big people, like from United States, World Bank, Adam Smith, then of course Sheila Dikshit. Sheila Dikshit became the chief minister of Delhi only on water. I mean, she used to just promise that she's going to give water. Ms. Sagarika will endorse what I'm saying. So water was very important for her. So she was in the meeting. So when it was presented to me, I grabbed the opportunity, gave my everything, and then I stormed into urban governance. All of you will have those golden hours. If you doubt your capability, because I could have said no, because I was afraid of, let's say, utility reform is not a small thing. The world is working on that. But they trusted me with that. That's why they approached me. So the same thing could happen to any one of you. So if you want to brand yourself as an expert and the go-to person in that particular area, you grab the opportunities that come to you, and they come in a very masked fashion when you're very fragile, when you're very vulnerable. And that's when you have to grab it, position yourself, and as I said, let the world market you. Don't ever market yourself. That's the cheapest thing to do. Don't let the world market you. Let the world position you. Let the world brand you. And for that, you have to give the world-class products, world-class services, and you should become the best of class in your profession. Thank you very much.